So, Raw happened, and Raw was as I expected. It did some things different, it did some things unexpected, and some stuff expected. Let's get to it. It was Rollins coming up to just celebrate his world title reigns in his put them on fire fucking jeans. If I ever seen those jeans again, they're getting burnt down. Then he addresses what happened last night when he got attacked by Bray Wyatt, and then he issued a challenge at Hell in a Cell come September 6th on pay-per-view. And I have to tell you, bro, as much as I would love to see Bray Wyatt actually get a dub, and seeing how this is the most hyped up he's been in a long time, after this repackaged double personality gimmick that they gave him, and the character seems so interesting, I feel like it's going to be a rush just to make Rollins feel like this huge, like, main event ticket in the company when we thought it was Roman Reigns. And both these guys nearly have everything identical. They both went out beating Triple H in major pay-per-view in WrestleManias, Royal Rumble winners, and perennial years that nobody cared about them. And they were supposed to be the next big thing holding the world title, but they come crashing each other in the head with controversy that doesn't get them where they really wanted to go. That's really how I feel about this reign. And for both men, I feel like it's way better if we let Bray Wyatt hold the Universal Championship. It's a huge change of pace. It's gonna be completely different feel. It's actually gonna feel like a world championship that people care about. Other than I'm a fighting champion and I'll defend this against anybody that's in front of me. That crap gets annoying. It's super generic, and I don't get the character. Other than he's just any other mediocre babyface mid-carder that would be super glad holding a belt that holds too much weight above on their shoulders to begin with. That's how it feels whenever I see every championship held. And it's not by anybody that has a big ass personality. And that's what kills WWE for certain people, especially me. A guy that went for like the Triple H's, the Rocks, Steve Austin. Everybody wants to bring up these names, and it's not so we can just smack the young guys and the current roster in the face. You have to be this. It's just you guys can do way better. Express a bit more of yourself. If you guys wanted to make you and Becky Lynch a thing, go ahead. Just know no one gives a fuck. Or at least implement it for something so you can make Becky and Rollins look over. You never give them backstage segments to actually show their love for each other. Or they are, oh my god, they're two champions and they're dating. That's gay. That's weak. That doesn't make Rollins feel like he actually has a responsibility. That he has to make sure his girl is safe, and so is the belt. That's something we can get behind. That's something that you can support a world champion plus a babyface. And they don't implement that, and now he's facing The Fiend. A guy that only had one squash match at SummerSlam and has been attacking many people above the right. They gave him like 3 segments when people are already hyped up for one segment every time on Raw for a Firefly Funhouse. He tried to threaten Rollins. He tried to mark up his next victim, do a Firefly segment again. It was too much Bray Wyatt. And for certain people, it's a good thing. For me, it's a bad thing. I feel like that's overusing Bray Wyatt, especially when he already has so many vignettes. And you have 4 weeks into the pay-per-view. If you want, you just wait. But if you want to make it too many vignettes, at least make 2 a show on Raw. Strictly Raw. To make it feel big. Somehow Braun Strowman, after just losing the tag team belts, and then somehow just losing the Universal Championship when he literally had all the chances in the world, all he does is just call out somebody from backstage for some apparent reason when he only been gifted 1 shot. After Baron Corbin had like 2 title shots, and Brock Lesnar had 2 title shots. When Brock Lesnar isn't that big as he was back then, this year. Sorry. And Baron Corbin was not an authority figure since late 2018. So it was pretty alright to see Bray Wyatt's actually going to be the major focus on Monday Night Raw now. But I feel like the segment could have been way better and could have issued Seth Rollins to actually feel like this could be a major threat. This could be bigger than Bray Wyatt. I mean, Brock Lesnar. This could be bigger than facing off against Braun Strowman. Something like that, man. Then we had fucking Braun Strowman face off against Ruins a Tag Team Summit. And I think this is like whoever wins this will be facing off against the tag team champions and shit like that. And all they did was attack the Revival, I think, and Ziggler, attempting to celebrate after winning the tag team titles against Rollins and Strowman. And then Strowman just beat the shit out of both the Revival, Ziggler, and Rude. The main event is somehow just one half of the tag team champions facing off against the world champion. So I guess that's a big main event. Then we have the Viking Raiders face off against the OC. It's actually the OC facing off against a legit tag team on Raw. And it was a pretty alright match if you wanted to see like big hosses fight. And it was pretty good. Really good like recoil. I think his name was Ibor's the big one. The bald one took gave a mean knee strike over to Carl Anderson. And then ferocious, big boots. Like Luke Gallows, as generic as a big man he is, he can make shit hurt. And this is something that we're lacking. If only Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows actually had a legit gimmick, other than we're ripping up the Bullet Club. We're ripping off the Bullet Club. The Bullet Club. It hasn't been popular since like 2015 to 16. Let's get it. So this was a pretty good match, even though it was a 6-man tag involving Cedric Alexander and the Viking Raiders facing off against AJ Styles and the OC. Well, that sounds completely redundant, even though Styles is part of the OC. Other than that, they win! Off Styles hitting, I think, I think he hit Cedric with the US title, then hit him with a Styles Clash, and of course, the OC beat the shit out of him at the end, because Styles hates black people. That's a joke. That's a fucking joke. Whatever. King of the Ring finals. Chad Gable faces off against Baron Corbin in the finals that will be issued on Raw. I'm shocked they didn't issue this on Clash of Champions when they had about combined, I think, 13 titles defended in one night, minus the 2 non-title matches. I think it was only 1 non-title match. So this match is impressive, and Chad Gable's an impeccable wrestler. Enough said. The dude really tried to actually hold his own against a guy like Baron Corbin, doing a legit leverage German with the bridge. He came around, kept selling the knee, kept roaming around. He was literally running circles around Corbin, actually utilizing the speed to his advantage. And it's kind of the right call to give Corbin the King of the Ring. Kind of obvious. It was a good tilt-a-whirl into an end of day, so Corbin wins. It was a really good match. It was so many smart ways off a reversal for an ankle lock over the end of days that Chad Gable found smart ways how to actually, try to make sure Corbin doesn't hit the finisher. That's literally the strongest finisher in the roster. So it was good. It was a decent call since we know WWE trying to overly push Corbin in the main event scene, even though he still dresses like a cancer patient. That still manages on target. I don't know how many times I said that in a YouTube video, but if you do, somehow, pay attention in any of my videos, I really hate the attire Corbin wears. And if he was in his stable, fine. If his hair, because we know his hairline was receding, why didn't this nigga just keep the old attire? There's nothing wrong with his old attire. The lone wolf shtick and shit. Nothing is lone wolf about being corporate. So there we go. Baron Corbin would somewhat get a coordination on SmackDown, even though he's strictly a Raw competitor. So that makes 0 sense. But he's not going to be a wild card come October 4th. Suck my dick. Suck it. Next up, there was a party to guess who will be who's going to be what's going to be it was a gender party on who the fuck is what the baby's going to be for Maria, because I think she was realistically pregnant. Then then Michael Kanellis trying to got a bit tight, because I think they said right here that, but she did not celebrate what Mike Kanellis celebrated. She instead said Ricochet was the father. Oh wow, yeah. And this is all a ploy to make Mike Kanellis feel like a man. A man would love to be told that he's not the father of what's supposed to be his own biological child. And wow, does this just bury Mike Kanellis? And this is coming from the same woman that used to be like the dim-witted interviewer on Monday Night Raw like over a decade ago. And now here she is now, and I haven't seen her do good work since her time in Ring of Honor. And here she is back on Raw, and she's doing what's supposed to be crazy as an illegitimate child. We don't know who the baby daddy is. And this was just an excuse to just bring back Rusev, that I'm highly excited for. Thinks deadass Rusev is my favorite wrestler in the damn roster. He really is. Legit good wrestler, incredibly charismatic, a likable guy to actually look at. One actually has a threatening look. And he lost a bit of weight. He did the thrust kick on Mike Kanellis, got a squash match victory. Then Kanellis continued to berate him. And this was like before Ricochet just beat the shit out of him. And then Maria said Ricochet's not the father. I don't know. And they also discussed that Lana was like, what the fuck? Where is Lana? Is he on Instagram, I see? The segment was really stupid. It was just an excuse to bring back Rusev. That it's a positive. I like Rusev. But other than that, I feel like the segment was completely stupid because since then, Maria came from berating Mike Kanellis, making him a constant jobber in the roster, forced him to take away the 24/7 championship offer, and then somehow just say that Rusev is the father and then get pinned. What the fuck happened on 205 Live? And weren't this supposed to be this like unconnectable couple from like SmackDown 2 years ago? Wow, how time flies when you're fucked up. Then Mayor Glenn Jacobs, that was backstage, issuing to invite R-Truth into Knoxville, Tennessee, because we were in the University of Tennessee. Just an excuse to show Kane. Thanks. That's how. It's a nice cameo. It's great to see Kane again. It was literally my favorite segment. I literally marked out because it's like, oh, it's cocaine. Shout out to GT Grim. Shout out to Grim, man. It was nice to see like the Tennessee's football field. Then our troops tried to run away. Somehow he did not see a huge orange white pillar, and then he got his ass knocked up. And it just somehow just ended up with Kane not even using the choke slam because he's on a fucking turf field. That's gonna hurt like a bitch. And yeah, Glenn Jacobs is 24/7 champion. R-Truth would just somehow win that back when Glenn Jacobs failed to get into the ring, failed to get into the limo and just get a roll up. Next up was Cesaro facing off against Rey Mysterio. So that was something. This is a good match. Cesaro was doing this without even fucking wearing wrestling gear. And these guys are shown to have great wrestling matches in the past. But here's the thing with Rey Mysterio coming back. I haven't seen them in a legit story, or at least what's supposed to be a legit feud since Samoa Joe. And that already been a mistake. Then he feuded with Andrade on and off. That's been a mistake. Then we feud him with Cesaro, that's a fucking mistake. What's with Raw? What's with Raw? Come on, man. He ends it up with the 619. There was a really good uppercut. Then Cesaro like referenced the sun and all that. There was a really good like pop up into a uppercut. 619, and then the Canadian Destroyer for a 1-2-3 win. This was good. Rey Mysterio against bigger, stronger, and athletic competitors is always a sight to see. But Jesus Christ. Next up was supposed to be the tag team match for the women against Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss facing off against Bayley and Sasha Banks. With Bayley just doing this a lot. Then dabbing each other up like they really are that lit with each other. And I gotta tell you, this match was alright. If you like to go to the bathroom. Oh my god. Oh man, this match was shit. I feel like Nikki Cross struggles a lot with trying to feel like she could actually be an impactful wrestler. Unless it's a multi-women match. That it wasn't. She failed to do a cross-body well. I think her knee hit Sasha right in the face. It was going to a 2-on-1 affair because Alexa Bliss somehow was injured in the match. And it ended up with Nikki Cross putting up a valiant effort, but she loses. Then backstage, Banks challenged Becky Lynch in a rematch at Hell in a Cell. Becky Lynch accepted it, and she wanted to fight inside the cage. So that's pretty much it. Then it was Lacey Evans facing off against Dana Brooks. This was the second to last match before the main event. I didn't even know Dana Brooke was still in the fucking roster. Wasn't Lacey Evans feuding with fucking Natalya for 3 weeks? And wasn't she feuding with the current women's champion that still had the belt since WrestleMania 35? This is super underwhelming. I did not watch the squash match because I knew it was a squash match because it's Dana Brooke. And the only way Dana Brooke is relevant, to me at least, if she can stop using the liposuction. And stop thinking you can DM Batista. You're not even that attractive, Dana. And Lacey Evans is such an on and off wrestler, it's hard to cheer for her. You want her to grab some potential. Because she's obviously the most NXT green promo Natalya ripoff I've seen in my life. And then we have fucking the main event. What, Braun Strowman gets a rematch on Raw? Different stipulation. We actually have tickets to actually see Rollins get something done and actually show that Raw is something to watch other than we get a tag team match. You face off against the next person that is the second that's half of the tag team champions, and then you have a random 6-man tag, and then you have a tag team match before that, and then you do a promoing the show. That's fucking boring. Rollins hasn't defended his title on Raw since at the post WrestleMania 35 when he tried to do like a winner takes all match for the Universal WWE World Title back up after WrestleMania 35, and it ended with Rollins winning off DQ after the OC came in attack in a pretty mediocre match that I think only took like 2 commercial breaks. Raw gets a 4 out of 10 after a pretty watchable Clash of Champions. This does nothing to sell any storylines except Bray Wyatt's going to be in another pay-per-view. So that's a positive. I feel like the women's division was terrible in the show. They did nothing except sell that Sasha Banks is heel, and Becky Lynch is seriously not that over to me. The authors of Pain promos were cool. I'm not gonna lie. pretty cool seeing them speaking a different language, but it'd be cool if they bring back that manager that they had that back on NXT. The King of the Ring Finals was a really good match. Actually shows how amazing Chad Gable can actually be in a singles role. He's obviously way better than Jason Jordan. He actually had a legit underdog role in the entire King of the Ring. Actually had above average matches when it was actually over. That we literally thought he was going to be the next King of the Ring. We literally thought Jason Jordan should have been an afterbirth after that storyline with Kurt Angle. So that's raw. That's raw for me. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. There was some stuff that I liked, but I don't think that doesn't. But all because it's in small doses doesn't mean it's a good show. And if you rewatch it, then hopefully you don't, because it's 3 fucking hours. Unless the network works, it actually gives you like a simplified version of of Monday Night Raw in 2 hours. That's a way better thing to sit down and watch, other than 3 commercial break matches. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed the review.